to coast, it's time for the music of the Texaco Star Theater, starring James Melton.
I will bring you music as swiftly as a dove. My song will fly. So swift my song will fly. The starlit spaces, the joyous notes take wing across the sky. The blue and friendly sky. And in the music of love that I am bringing, may there be an echo to fill the night with singing. Oh, let me bring you music from within my
Texaco dealers from coast to coast again welcome you to the new summer musical series of the bigger Texaco Star Theater, starring the golden voice tenor of Metropolitan Opera, stage, screen, and radio, James Melton. With David Brookman in the Texaco Star Theater Orchestra and Chorus, Virginia Haskins, the rising musical comedy star, and our own leading lady of the evening, the 20 piano fingers of David Saperton and Bert Schefter, and a half hour of smiling melodies. And this is John Reed King. Now is the time to get your car ready for those summer trips with your Texaco dealer's warm weather checkup and conditioning service. Start out right, and wherever you go, you'll find Texaco dealers ready to serve you in all 48 states. Remember, Texaco Care goes all the way with your car. And now the man who has collected thousands of old songs, dozens of old cars, and couldn't find one old firecracker on the fourth, James Melton.
Welcome, everybody. Come on in. And I want you to know that in spite of what John says, it was a great 4th of July celebration just the same. As a matter of fact, it still is a great celebration down in Philadelphia.
Well, what's going on in Philly?
Well, Johnny, down in Philly, they're getting ready down there to have themselves a big time at the world premiere of that 20th Century Fox Technicolor musical called Centennial Summer. Maybe you heard us a couple of months ago, friends, when we had the honor of giving the radio world premiere of the music of this same picture. Quite a movie, they say.
I hear it's got horse cars in it.
Horse cars, hoop skirts, gas lights, scrapple and steak for breakfast, everything, Johnny, including Love and the Liberty Bell.
Oh, they got Love in the picture, too?
Sure they have. One of its best songs happens to take up that very subject. And with the help of Saperton and Schefter and Brookman and the orchestra, here it is.
All through the day I dream about the night. I dream about the night here with you. I sit alone in the golden daylight, but all I see is a silver sky. For in my fancy I sweep away night and keep my image of the sky just the way we like it, you and I. All through the day I dream about the night. I dream about the night here with you. All through the day I wish away the time until the time when I'm here with you. Down falls the sun, I run to meet all through the day. I dream of your kiss all through the
Thank you, boys. The first time, as I said before, the first time I heard the song called Clap Your Hands was the first time I ever saw a New York musical comedy. There I was, fresh off the train, down around Flowery Branch, Georgia. And unless I disremember, I had a saxophone in one hand and a pair of yellow shoes in the other. Anyway, that George Gershwin music sure sounded great to me, and it still does. Listen to David Brookman and the Texaco Star Theater Orchestra and Chorus in Clap Your Hands.
Clap your hands, clap your thighs, hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody come along and join the jubilee. Clap your hands, clap your thighs, don't you lose time, don't you lose time. Come along and shake your shoes, time now for you and me. On the sands of time you were only a pebble. Remember trouble must be treated just like a rebel. Send it to the devil. Clap your hands, clap your thighs. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody come along and join the jubilee. Remember, trouble must be treated just like a rebel. Take it to the devil. Clap your hands, clap your thighs. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody come along and join the jubilee. Come along and join the jubilee. Come along and join the jubilee.
This is James Melton again, friends. You hear that music? I expect quite a few young people who've held hands to that melody. Well, there's nothing wrong with holding hands. There's nothing wrong with the melody either. Virginia Haskins and I, well, we'll try to do our best by you young people with La Paloma.
Cuéntale tus amores, tiéndeme vida, coronará de flores que es cosa mía. Ay, chinita, que sí, ay, que dame tu amor, ah, que vente conmigo, chinita, a donde vivo yo.
Ay, chinita, que sí, ay, que dame tu amor, ay, que vente conmigo, chinita, a donde vivo yo.
Chinita, say yes. Wilt thou give me thine all? Oh, wilt thou come to the land where thy Lord dwells? Chinita, say yes. Wilt thou give me thy Lord? Wilt thou come to the land where thy Lord Now, here's John Reed King with a brief but important newscast to car owners.
You're right, Jimmy. It is news and big news to every car owner to know that Texaco's new and improved Haviland motor oil not only lubricates, but actually cleans your engine as you drive. That means a new freedom from fuel-wasting dirt drag, from power-killing carbon and sludge. You get more miles per gallon and more power all the time. And there are other important advantages from this new and improved Haviland, made with an exclusive new formula. Now, the famous lubricating qualities of Haviland can do a better job in a cleaner engine. So you get greater protection, less engine wear, longer car life. Yes, new improved Haviland is a sensational change in motor oils, and it's a change you should make in your car. Drive into your Texaco dealers and change to new and improved Haviland, Texaco's premium motor oil.
Ever since Dave Saperton and Bert Schefter have come into our lives, there's been absolutely no rest for these two big pianos here. You know, there are 176 keys on these two pianos on the stage, and I don't think the boys have missed a single key, which is anything but a holiday for piano strings. Nevertheless, they're going to play Holiday for Strings. I imagine almost everybody at one time or another has heard Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet Overture. And I expect almost everybody knows, or at least knows about, the famous balcony scene from Shakespeare's play. As a singer, it makes me mighty happy that these two great passages, one in music and one in words, have been joined together in one song, the song I'd like to sing for you now.
spectacled orb, in though the silver tips from her beguiling lips bedeck each leaf and tree with blessed mystery, lest to thy love my change or aught should be estranged. Dear love, swear not at all, or else swear by thine own gracious self, alone out to the God of my idolatry. From her beguiling lips bedeck each leaf and tree with blessed mystery, lest to thy love to change or aught should be estranged. Dear love, swear not at all, Now the next stop is Natchez, Mississippi, along about 1850, complete with bales of cotton, showboat, and Virginia Haskins in Can't Help Lovin' That Man.
Fish gotta swim and birds gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. Can't help loving that man of mine. Tell me he's
James Melton again, friends, and that was Virginia Haskins singing Jerome Kern music from Showboat.
Jerome Kern certainly had a way of putting into music the things we all like to hear about America.
He sure did, John, and so did Billy Gashade.
Who?
Another American composer named Billy Gashade, some 70 or 80 years ago. I don't know whether he ever wrote more than one song, but that one song surely made a name for Billy Gashade. In fact, he's the only songwriter I ever heard of who managed to work his own name into the lyrics of his song. It's called The Ballad of Jesse James.
That I would call a Class A American legend, Jim. The story of Jesse James, a bank robber and a bad man.
Yes, a bad man, but a colorful character the old folks are still talking about and singing about. Jesse James was a lad who killed many a man. He robbed the Glenmore train. He stole from the rich and he gave to the poor. He'd a heart and a hand and a brain. Jesse James was a man and a friend to the poor. He hated grief and pain. With his brother Frank, he robbed the bank and he stopped the Glendale train. All right, people, get on off that train. Frank, hop in the baggage car and get that money.
Hey, what's going on here? Hey, who? What?
One move from anybody, and it'll be too bad. All right, Frank, toss out those money pouches.
Jesse James, Jesse James, Jesse had a heart of gold. Jesse James always gave a helping hand to the poor and sick and old.
It was on a Wednesday night and the moon was shining bright when Jesse rode out of town. He packed the gun that had held up the bank and had shot the sheriff down. Jesse rode 6 hours without a stop. His horse was wet with foam. He came to the farmhouse. He banged on the door of the poor old farmer's home.
Hey, what do you want at this time of night?
Are you Martin Crosley?
Yes. Oh, you're Jesse James. No, I haven't done anything. I haven't got anything.
Martin, I hear tell the bank's taking your farm away tomorrow.
Yes, but what?
Well, don't worry, Martin. Here's the money for the bank. It ought to be plenty.
Holy Moses. Money from Jesse James.
Jesse James, Jesse James, Jesse had a heart of gold. Now listen to the way Jesse went to Judgment Day. It will make your blood run cold.
Jesse's pal, Robert Ford, the dirty little coward with the sheriff's bribe in his claw. Oh, he ate Jesse's bread and he slept in Jesse's bed, but he sold Jesse out to the law. It was Saturday night, Jesse was at home with all his family brave. Robert Ford came along like a thief in the night, and he laid poor Jesse in his grave.
Hello, Jesse.
Hello, Bob. Be waited there just as soon as I get this picture hung straight.
Don't bother.
What'd you say, Bob?
I said don't bother, Jesse.
This song was made by Billy Gashade as soon as the news did arrive. He said there was no man with the law in his hand that could take Jesse James when alive. Jesse James was a lad who killed many a man. He hated grief and pain.
He stole from the rich and he gave to the poor, but he robbed the Glendale train. Jesse James, Jesse James, Jesse James, the outlaw boy. Oh, he stole from the rich, but he gave to the poor. He was bad, but he had a heart of gold.
Thank you. And now here's John Reed King. What's on your mind, John?
The police traffic safety check, sponsored by the International Association of Chiefs of Police, is underway now, with police throughout the U.S. and Canada inspecting all cars stopped for accidents or traffic violations. In the first 500,000 cars inspected, 2 out of 5 were found defective. Let those figures warn you. Don't wait for trouble. Check your driving, check your car, and check accidents. Well, Jim, you can take off your guns now and tell us what's going to happen next week.
Thank you, John. Next Sunday night, friends, we're going to try again to pack as much melody as we can into 30 minutes. We'll have as much fun as we can while we're doing it. You'll hear David Brookman leading the Texaco Star Theater Orchestra and Chorus with a return visit from Patty Clayton, proving that a pretty girl is like a melody. David Stapleton and Bert Schefter polishing notes from lowest A to highest C on their twin pianos. John Reed King to tell you in 1 minute what goes on inside your automobile, and all told 30 minutes of melody and musical miscellany. Of course, I'll be around too to see what I can do to stir up for your pleasure. Then, until then, this is James Melton saying good night, friends, and see you Sunday.
Texaco dealers from coast to coast invite you to tune in next Sunday for another performance of the Texaco Star Theater and to drive in anytime. Whenever you hear the siren and bell, think of Texaco. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.